Hey guys, what's up? So we're here for another Rust update, and I think I better put on God mode here. We're gonna do God 1. Okay, and we're gonna check out the new scientists. Now, they didn't make it in this week because they still have a few more tweaking to do, but they are on the staging branch. Now, one note about the staging branch is, if any of you guys have played PUBG, you know that by owning it, you have the PUBG game, and then there's also a testing, or the beta branch. Now, Rust is going to do something like that, and they're going to do a separate staging branch so that more people are encouraged to try it out. The other thing is the plan is they're going to move to monthly updates to the game instead of every week, but every week staging is going to update. So, as they come out of early access, which they said should be by February-ish, that's going to be the plan, so you'll be seeing that soon. But we're going to go ahead and take a look at the scientists here. Now, they spawn in military tunnels. They aren't too hard to kill if you got guns, but they do call out stuff, and they drop random loot. So, you know, just now I learned fireplace. Now, I believe the goal is for them eventually, to call for help. And call in more guys. And wow, there's just all sorts of blueprints in here. We got some gloves, yeah. And as you can see here, I'm wearing the new Hazmat Suit. This has replaced the old Hazmat Suit and is now craftable. It requires a tier 2 workbench, and you do have to find it and research it. So before you can go out and hit the rad towns in the deep areas, you're going to have to find a radiation suit again. I think that's kind of cool. Now, eventually there will be a way to get the scientist suits as well, which are blue now, but they haven't said what that is 100% yet. I'm assuming it will be looting off of them. I didn't realize these stores changed a while ago. But yeah, so that's kind of the idea there. Now, eventually there's going to be closed areas in here that the scientists will drop, like key cards, you can get other events, and get into locked sections. So I think that's actually a really cool idea here. Their movement's not too bad. They do carry LRs, MP5s, and shotties. And they can do some pretty serious damage to you. The loot is pretty much just really random. Whoa, where are we being shot from? What? Is there... Okay, he's like progressed into a plane of existence that we can no longer hit. Oh, that guy had the exact same stuff. But yeah, as you kind of cruise around military tunnels, looks like that might be one of those issues that they're working on fixing up still. So we can cruise on down here though. You'll see there's a few more guys. It's pretty cool that they talk. You see this guy pulled out a shotgun now that I'm closer to him. So they've done some work, and yeah, you know, loot tables aren't that great. A lot of people are complaining about, but I mean, honestly, it's not. People are gonna be killing these guys like crazy. They can't be super OP, you know. And you know, I mean, they're not that difficult to, you know, kill. I mean, you saw I got a couple hit markers there, but yeah, I think if their loot's any better, it's gonna be kind of a little too OP. So that's kind of the bit with the scientists so far right now. You know, soon they'll be in more places and fully kind of implemented in the game. I'm pretty excited about that. It's going to be awesome to finally have our first set of NPCs. And we got some heavy fog going on here. But like I said, this is the new Rad Suit here. Let's go ahead and let's see. I'll be right back. We're going to go ahead and check out what the costs are for it. Alright, so as you see here, it costs 250 scrap to learn. It does require workbench level 2, like I said. We're going to go ahead and learn it. I mean, you can search it, but I like kind of doing that. And you'll see it pops up here. It's 5 tarp, 2 sewing kits, and 8 HQ. So it's actually really not that bad. So that's going to be kind of that there. Now, on staging, I don't think they've quite made it in yet, but there's going to be some new mini monuments that are going to be wells. So let's go ahead and take a look at these here. Alright, so as you guys can see here, we've got the well monument, and this thing is pretty cool looking. It's an old concept that's been around for quite a while now. And they're just basically going to be taking this guy and kind of sticking it into different monuments. So as you can see here, there's different things. Some of them look like player-made. They're just all kind of cool little setup. They're using assets that were maybe from an old rad town they didn't use and stuff like that. And they said they're having some fun with it. Now, I don't know if you're going to be able to build around these or next to them or how close. Speaking of building privilege, they've also halved the non-building zone around the launch site, I believe. So that's also kind of like a little plus there. But yeah, we'll just have to see how these get implemented. I'm sure we'll have some more information next week, and we probably won't be seeing them until the Force Wipe in February at the earliest anyways. Arrows have been added in with new types, of course. You couldn't see them when you drop them on the floor. They've now been properly updated with their proper glow. Explosive ammo, there was a bunch of huge exploits with it, along with some other exploits throughout the game that were also fixed, but this is the main one. There were some problems where you could do like double damage and all sorts of little sneaky things with it. That has been knocked out, gone, goodbye, fixed for now, until something else causes it to break again, of course. Another little trick fix-up here is the heli. The helicopter, people, or more or less big clans, I would say, would take down the helicopter where it would fall, and they'd put up a bunch of high external walls real quick so people couldn't get to it, and it made it harder to challenge people for it, which is what these events are supposed to be. Things like airdrops, the heli, the Apache helicopter event that's coming in, etc. Those are meant to be challenged. So this has been a little change. You can no longer build around the crashed helicopter until it is gone. So that's a neat little change there. Another thing added into the game, there is now a report button when you die. And the cool thing is, it will let you know if that person ended up getting banned. You'll have to have a real account to report people, which will get rid of a bunch of spamming and crap and things that are just wasting the team's time, and make it to where if you really do want to make a report, you'll have a Face Punch account and hopefully be a little more serious about it. But it will then email you back on the email associated with that and say, hey, this person was banned. So you can kind of get that feeling that the team is there, they are doing something about it. So it's kind of neat with that. They've also made it easier for admins to go ahead and pull combat logs now. Instead of having someone having to send them their personal combat log, they can just pull it themselves, which is a huge help. As someone who's ran servers before, that would have been a blessing way back when. So that is very cool there. I think that pretty much covers it for the random stuff. Let's go ahead and jump back into the rest of the video here. So a couple other things this week. When placing a workbench, you can now press R to rotate it as you're placing it. So you can go ahead and, rotate and then like, oh, I'm gonna snug it up to this wall right here, You got that. Also, if you placed a cupboard backwards, you can now go ahead and rotate that sucker. So if you have to place it at a weird angle, you can still rotate it to access it nicely. That's a nice little change. I still feel like there needs to be some kind of change with the decay, though. When people raid you, they grief your base by killing the cupboard, and 4 to 6 hours later, you no longer have a base. And that, I feel like, is a huge issue in the game that's completely negative towards creating longevity in Rust. So hopefully that's something that gets adjusted. I know they're still working really hard on getting things going, so I'm sure we'll see some kind of adjustment to that. Sound off how you feel about that. Is that discouraging you from playing Rust? Is that something you wish that was fixed? Let's hear about it. Another thing that people have been bothering Helg for ages is that furnaces also give off heat. Now, it's not just the comfort here, but if we were in, like, let's say, a really cold biome, the little furnace is going to give you some heat now. It makes sense. I mean, it's a burning furnace inside of a building. I mean, you should also be dying of carbon monoxide poisoning, but, let's not go for those kind of levels of realism. That's going to be a little bit much, I think. But, yeah, that pretty much does it, guys. There's lots of little optimizations and other tiny little fixes here and there. Check it out in the dev blog. It's linked down in my description below as the first link there for you. And be sure to go ahead and give this video your love. Give it a like, share it with your friends, share it with your dog, share it with your mom, share it with your dog's uncle's sister's friend, And be sure to check off that notification bell if you haven't already. Make sure you don't miss these, as I do them weekly to keep you guys updated, nice and short and simple, of what's been added into the game. No flashy bells, whistles, and extra stuff. Now, one last thing, guys. Please be sure to go ahead and give the devs some love. They really get a ton of crap from people, and it can be disheartening. After a while, it stacks up on you, even if you got a tough skin. And, you know, go give them some love. Be nice. Say some cool things to them. And, especially on Reddit. Reddit is such a toxic cesspool, it's not even funny. If it's not memes, it's toxicity or hatred. So, go do that. I'm going to leave you guys with some of the new admire animations that have been added in, talking as these things right here as we're looking at this hammer, and we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.